YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Rome 2, and I've got you an online replay. I want you to check this one out. This one is interesting. So my opponent brings a very odd army here. It's very elite, and I bring a rush army with Carthage, thinking, I'm going to have great odds with this. This will go really well. Well, I say this will go really well. Obviously, it depends on how well my opponent controls his army, but initially, when I come out and the first thing I see is Roman beehive onagers, I was like, this is going to be a cakewalk. Cakewalk. Beehive onagers do pretty much no damage. They're a morale unit, so they hugely debuff the morale of your men. It's by like 30 points, I think. Huge morale debuff. So if you could potentially use them for that, then you'd be in good shape. Now the thing is your opponent's probably going to try and avoid engagements. But I tell you what would be interesting to see is like a beehive onager firing from some distance, and then if you used like a Praetorian Cav and a Numidian Cav, so just throw flaming javelins from the Numidian Cav and do a quick charge, I'll bet you could actually rout units. I don't know that for sure. Maybe a Saki Equite would be a little bit more cost effective for that. It'd be curious to see what you can do with it, but I mean, the morale debuff is enormous. Just enormous. I'll let you all see it. Anyway, so my army is 2 mercenary noble fighters, and the reason I brought these guys is like, these guys will beat down Roman infantry. I mean, they'll destroy them, basically. So 38 charge, 56 attack, 41 weapon damage. I mean, yeah, these guys ought to just destroy Roman infantry, unless it's a Praetorian Guard. Or Evocati cohort, armored legionaries. So basically, I was hoping that my opponent didn't bring a whole lot of... See, with Rome, it's hard to say. I want to call them elite units, but that's the beauty of with Rome, is that they're not elite units. So you have Evocati and armored legionaries, which are not elite units, but they are elite units. So it's kind of this weird deal where you can bring these units for 1380, I think, is Carthage, and they are great units. And Carthage is definitely a power in the current game. I just find it interesting. Yeah, look, all the way down to 6 morale on these mercenary Iberian swordsmen. So I mean, just the littlest thing would cause these guys to leave the battlefield. So tell me that's not a huge debuff from the beehive onagers. So interesting that that's never really been used before by someone. Now again, they won't kill your men. You just get these annoying little beehive things, and it, for a brief period of time, will keep your men at less melee defense and also way less morale. If you could somehow time this with a shock attack, I could see it being potentially devastating. The thing is it's hard to get that morale debuff to spread across multiple units. You can see that the onager is quite inaccurate, and it's only landing hits sporadically, so it would require your opponent to be somewhat blobbed up for it to have a huge effect, but who knows, you might be able to punch a big hole in your opponent's. I mean, look, this is an elite unit, and its morale's all the way down to 35. So, just to give you an idea. So, my opponent's firing his beehive onager without really conserving his ammo, so I'm just going to sit here and let my men get stung by bees. I could really care less. And I'm going to let him use all of his ammunition, because I noticed, I was about to just attack him until I saw this huge morale debuff, and it's like, if I do that, my army's going to chain rout in the face of his, and it's going to be horrible. So, yeah, anyway, I'm just keeping I've got 2 mercenary Campanian Cav, 2 Carthaginian Cav, 4 Carthaginian hoplites, 2 mercenary noble fighters, 4 mercenary Iberian swordsmen. This is my skirmishing component. It's not a very good one, but, it kind of allows me to bring a rush army, but still have some skirmishing contingency, kind of. That's not what they are exactly, but kind of close. Anyway, he's got 2, let's see, an auxiliary cav and a legionary cav that comes out of hiding over here. And I'm going to push up with my Campanians. And all I can see from my opponent right now is this eagle cohort with 3 chevrons. Over here I can see a legionary cohort with 2 chevrons. And then this unit right here, another legionary cohort with 2 chevrons. Sorry, 1 chevron there, and this one was only 2 chevrons. My bad. So, yeah. Not sure what to think about the chevrons in the Roman infantry, but when you think about it, I brought these late Carthaginian hoplites, which have a very low attack factor, but they have good defense, and I can put them into hoplite wall. And I was basically counting on them for holding power, not killing power. And we'll just see how long they can hold. So it seems like, from what I've learned in Total War Rome 2, or any other Total War game for that matter, the larger the disparity between the attack on 2 units, the quicker the fight goes. And that makes logical sense as well, right? And these Roman units already have a huge attack differential over most units. And so when you throw a few chevrons on there, does it actually make a big difference in how that unit performs? Now, I'm pretty sure that an armored legionary versus a mercenary noble fighter would normally fall in favor of a mercenary noble fighter, but I could be wrong. I haven't tried that out. Armored legionaries are very tanky. Let's see, so he's got 1 Balearic Slinger, and it looks like 3 auxiliary Syrian archers, his beehive onager. There's this legionary cav and auxiliary cav, and then the rest of his infantry line becomes visible, so legionary cohort, armored legionary, eagle cohort, and then he's got another legionary cohort back here in the back. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm like, you know what, why would I not frontal charge him right now? I mean, I have a rushed army, and my idea was, hey, my mercenary noble fighters ought to easily punch a hole through these armored legionaries. I'm going to get the charge. He's done fairly low damage to my noble fighters, or any other unit for that matter, with his archers or anything else, so I'm not really hugely concerned. He's actually firing at my mercenary Iberian swordsman right now, which seems like a waste of ammo. And then he's firing at late Libyan hoplites over here. I'm not sure what his logic is in firing. He's making a lot of mistakes in that matter. But anyway, here I'm going to charge. His guys are just going to sit here and take it. These mercenary noble fighters, though, do get shredded by the Pila from that armored legionnaire because they were alone. But let's just watch what happened. My guys are already down to 108, but I get a nice clean charge on these armored legionaries and just drop them pretty badly on the charge, about 20 men. And then same thing should happen here. Let's watch the kills rack up. So yeah, my men jump up ahead in this fight pretty quickly. I go into hoplite phalanx at the appropriate time. I go ahead and raise the banner and everything on my men, because this noble fighter right here is already struggling because it's getting beat by this armored legionary. Well, very close fight actually at the moment. But the armored legionary, look at the stats on these guys with those chevrons: 63, 55 defense, 95 armor, and 68 morale. That's insane. It's basically better than my elite unit that cost a lot more. So I go ahead and use my Iberian swordsman to start hurling javelins over the heads of the Roman infantry to kill these Syrian archers, because my cavalry is busy at the moment trying to get rid of some of his. I really need rear charges for my infantry, though, and it's a failure on my part not to have brought them in. Also, I probably should have kept 2 Iberian swordsmen here for this purpose, and then taken 2 around the flanks to hurl javelins into the back of the Roman infantry. That's a very effective way to use these guys, and I did not do that. Also, I should have been pushing these spearmen ahead sooner than this. But one way or the other, I have my opponent outflanked, and I feel like things should be going well for me. Surprisingly, those mercenary Syrian archers held out really well in the face of all the javelins from my Iberians. But here comes a mercenary Campanian Cav charge, and this is what I was counting on. Mercenary Campanian Cav are not worthless. A lot of people think they're worthless, as well as Aspis Cav, but they're not. They can kill a lot of sword infantry. You just have to know how to use them, and here you can see that this one's already racked up quite a few kills, and is helping to try and turn that fight around against the Eagle cohort. You can see that my men are getting a fair number of kills and relatively quick with that Campanian Cav. And then the enemy cavalry is back here suffering as well, and he continues to fire at very strange units like this late Libyan hoplite rather than my mercenary Campanian Cav. So again, most of his archers have been destroyed at this point, though, by javelins, but my infantry line, look at this, mercenary noble fighters just straight up got the charge and everything, and just going to get destroyed by these armored legionaries who just stood there and took it, with my general to support the whole time as well. So tell me, for those of you who tell me that these units, and again, I went on a slightly uphill gradient, slightly uphill. I don't know how much difference that makes, and my guys weren't tired either. For those of you telling me all the time that these units are not unbalanced, do you still believe that? Now, is Rome like an overpowered faction? Some people would say yes right now, and I do believe Rome's probably one of the strongest factions. I have no issue with the legionary cohort and eagle cohort or some of these others. I mean, all these units are very strong, which begs the question, why? Why does Rome have this armored legionary? Did they need it? Did they need another infantry unit that was even more cost effective than the ones that they already have? So again, I'm sure some of you are going to be like, "Heir, you're a baby. Quit being a baby. They're not that bad." Or here's another one of my favorite responses: "Well, good players know how to beat them." I get it. You know, I'm not complaining, right? I play online. I'm still able to beat Rome. But I'm just saying I don't see the purpose in it. Just from a game standpoint, I don't see the purpose in it. Like, Rome already had what it needed. So all I'm saying is that I don't even think armored legionaries and avocati should be taken out of the game or capped or anything else. they should just cost what they do. That's all I'm asking for here. So I mean, what would be wrong with this unit costing 1,100 talents? I mean, it seems appropriate to me. It'd still be a great unit, or an Evocati cohort costing 1,000. Again, it'd still be a pretty good unit. Just seems like it would make more sense. But then again, I'm not perfectly familiar with all the nuances of the balancing in this patch, and I'm just suggesting this based off of what I've been seeing. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Anyway, my infantry line, hoplites, no surprise that they got destroyed. I didn't support them on time. The mercenary noble fighters, that surprises me though. But then again, it probably shouldn't. Just because, you know, it's one of those things that, should it really surprise me? I mean, they have huge armor and huge morale. I mean, that's the way things work. Anyway, so I got beat down, and if I would have just thrown the rest of my troops in, my opponent's infantry would have just continued to grind this out. Most of his cohorts have gained another chevron from having killed so many of my men, so now they're even more powerful, what's left of them. And he still has a little bit of cavalry left as well. It's trying to harass me some, so I'm going to try and kill it with my Carthaginian cav, and then I'm going to keep running rear charges with my mercenary Campanians, and I'm going to get some nice ones. And again, if you leave these guys in the rear of sword infantry for very long, they're going to get kills. I mean, you can watch this legionary cohort, and this is a strong unit, and it is getting cut down summarily by my Campanian cav. So those of you who think Campanian cav and Aspis cav serve no purpose in this patch, I don't know where you came up with that. Maybe initially, if you were using them against other melee cav, they didn't perform as well as they used to. But that's to be expected. They don't have spears, they have swords. They're meant for a melee fight, whereas the ones with spears are probably more meant for a cavalry fight. Now, here all the Roman Pilla gets unloaded on this mercenary Campanian cav, and that was bad. Otherwise, that was a good charge, got a lot of kills, but I shouldn't have charged knowing that they could throw javelins there. But 95 kills on them already, and 128 kills on this one, for only 15 losses here. And this one, though, has lost more than that. So right now, my guys are cost-effective, I think. You know, they're doing a pretty good job. Anyway, I'm going to go into wedge formation, charge this Roman cav. These two beat-up Roman cav shouldn't be able to defeat my mercenary Carthaginian cav, which now has 2 chevrons, 50 attack. It's going to be a pretty tough unit for the Roman cav to beat. Now, the problem is my infantry sucks, and it's not going to last very long in a fight. You saw how long my mercenary noble fighters didn't last in a fight against these guys, so certainly my Iberian swords and my late Carthaginian hoplite will not last very long. So what I'm really doing is capitalizing on the fact that my opponent keeps sending units out piecemeal, and I'm using that opportunity to crush them with my mercenary Campanian cav. And every time you charge these guys in, leave them in long enough to get the kills, and charge them when an enemy unit isn't braced or in the rear. So if an enemy unit's moving, that's a fantastic time to charge them. If an enemy unit, if they have the rear face to you, charge them. Those are the times to use mercenary Campanian cav. So again, look, enemy units on the move and not braced. He can turn around if he wants, but he's not going to have time to brace. My Campanian cav are going to punch through them and kill a bunch more men on the charge. So again, know when to use your mercenary Campanian cav to make them the best. And again, I'm going to keep moving again and slam into the back of another Roman unit. And then while this unit was chasing my Campanian cav, hit it from behind with my mercenary Carthaginian cav. And again, just rear charges over and over and over again. That one's up to 160 kills. This one's now up to 126, so not bad. Not bad. Helping to get very expensive Roman units off the field, and if I can kill 2 of these Roman, or at least force 2 of these Roman units off the field, like the Armored Legionaries or something, these guys are worth their while. So basically you saw that I did take some cav engagements with them. Against Roman cavalry, it's not a huge deal, but it's not the most cost-effective way to use the Campanian cav. You really want to use these guys against sword targets, infantry targets. That's what you want to use them for. Against cavalry, they're not the best. They're good, and they're still tough, but it's really, again, not the best way to make them cost-effective. So eventually you can see me finally crushing what's left of the Roman infantry. But, I mean, hope you all saw this battle there. That again, never expected my Carthaginian hoplites to win that fight without the proper support. I didn't give it to them. The mercenary noble fighters, though, one would expect they should win that fight. And I was curious, so I went and looked. An armored legionary with 3 chevrons is still cheaper than a mercenary noble fighter by about 100 and some odd talents. So the 2 chevrons he had on there, and it's 105 talents per chevron. So he put 2 chevrons in the armored legionary. It's easily able to just stand still and beat my men down. I mean, no charge, nothing. Just beat my 1,380 talent unit down. So again, this is why I think these units need a price tweak. Rome should have strong infantry, so don't leave a big plethora of comments saying, well, Rome should have strong infantry. That's not what I'm on here saying. And if some of you are like, why are you griping at us? It's because I swear I see the same comments all the time, and it's fine. I'm not mad or telling you not to comment, or I'm going to block you if you comment or something else. I'm not going down that road. I'm just saying that I've seen all these comments before, and I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that Rome should have weak infantry. I just think that they already have enough very cost-effective infantry. Hastati, Principes, Legionaries. They don't need the super, super cost-effective infantry with the Evocati and the Armored Legionaries. So just make those infantry units, I'm not even saying you have to tweak their stats, just change the price on the Evocati and the Armored Legionaries to be more reflective of what they are. Again, Evocati that cost 1,000 would still be a cost-effective unit. Armored Legionaries that cost 1,100 or even 1,050, again, cost-effective unit. Is it as cost-effective as it is now? No, but it's still cost-effective. Again, you saw my guys there just get straight up beat down. Now, the one unit did take double the Roman Pilla, so we can write that one off, but you saw the one that didn't take any of that Roman Pilla still get summarily destroyed by the Armored Legionaries. So, again, not complaining. I won the fight. Again, Rome's beatable. My opponent made a lot of mistakes, like a lot of mistakes. Now, so did I. Like, there was a lot of things that I made mistakes on. I didn't get my rear charges in on time. I was wasting time trying to kill his cavalry with my mercenary Campanians. I, again, should have had 2 of my mercenary Iberians around the back of the fight. I could have won that fight much more cleanly. But this battle here, I hope, demonstrates to you why I tell new players to use Rome as a faction when you're learning. Because they're very forgiving. My opponent did not pick a very good army here. He did not have a particularly large number of tools. And he was still able to get a lot of kills. And it's because the Roman troops are just very hardy. And that's, again, why I suggest for new players to use them. So hopefully that makes sense now. And some of you got mad at me last time I suggested to people to use Romans because their infantry was good. Well, what else do you want me to tell you? I mean, it's the truth. New players should be using Rome Online. It's the most forgiving faction. It's the most flexible faction, I think. Again, does this make them unbeatable? No. It just means that I think, in my opinion, Rome's one of the easier factions to use online right now. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. I sure did. It was eye-opening. 2 things I didn't know here. Beehive onagers, massive morale detriment. Had no idea that that was the case. Not sure that they're wildly useful still, but interesting thought. Maybe helpful in campaign, actually, to break enemy formations a little easier. And then, the Armored Legionaries with the chevrons. Incredible units. Kind of unbelievable there, actually. But then again, not so unbelievable. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing off for now.